How the heck are you, everybody? I'm Fastidious. Welcome to my channel. So, happy Christmas, happy holidays, happy big old December Summon Day in Watcher of Realms. We have all these crazy banners. They're lasting all the way from today, Friday, until Monday. So they're going to last all the way through Christmas. As you can see, we got the Frostfall. This is the 250 limited for Gwendolyn. We have got the special 2x by 10x on both rare summoning crystals and legendary summoning crystals for Setram, Boreas, and Orim. Setram will get a video all his own. This video is going to be all about these two new heroes. We have three new heroes. We have Gwendolyn. I already broke her down, but we have two new heroes. So go check out my Gwendolyn video. It did very well. I think a lot of people liked it, but we have two more heroes to discuss. I promised this video would come. If I seem a little, what's the word, shaken to my core, it's because I just finished a 5-hour stream, the last 2 hours of which were doing my pulls, where I did 800 summons, and let's just say it was intense. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to keep powering on. I'm going to do a full kit breakdown, a full hero breakdown on Boreas and on Orim. Let me know if you guys say Boreas or Boreas. I've just decided I'm going to call him Boreas, but I see Boreas. That could make sense. We're going to call him Boreas. Orim must be pronounced Orim. So what am I going to do? We are going to talk design, aesthetic. We are going to talk, their factions, all the basic stuff. And then, of course, full kit deep dive, all the skills, all the talents, if there's multiple, but the talents, and of course, all the awakenings. Guys, I'm pretty excited to get into this. I also need to keep my mind off whatever the heck just happened on that stream, so let's get into it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Into the gallery we go, and let's just begin alphabetically. Let's start with Boreas. So he is an esotericist. I kind of wish they gave him dual faction membership in esotericist and in Northerner. Esotericist makes me think they're like esoteric, like they didn't have a place. They're kind of random, so they all went in here, which is fine. But he's also like made of freaking ice, and he's the freeze king, as you're going to see. He's an ice element born within icy depth, so he's some ice elemental. He's imbued with icy magic. That screams Northerner. It'd be very fun. I think he works better with the esotericist stuff, the kind of things we have going on with their lords and the synergies in their faction. But boy, wouldn't he be good if he also had dual membership into Northerner? That being said, he is really good, so let's break it down. Like I said, he's an ice elemental. I think he looks amazing. One of the best looking heroes in the game. Him and Gwendolyn side by side. Mwah, chef's kiss. I love it. So let's get into the kit. So he is going to be a mage. He's a magic damage dealer. I'm very excited about this hero, and I think a lot of people are too. I'll just tell you right now, he is a beast. A beast for AoE damage. Big AoE burst damage, and he's going to be tremendous in Gear Aid 1. So anyone trying to push late and endgame content in Gear Aid 1, I hope you get Boreas if you want him, because he's going to be perfect. The talent, when attacking, there is a 10% chance to inflict freeze. I'm actually just going to show you his Awaken level 1. When you get him Awaken 1, this 10% chance now goes to 50% chance. Think of that, 1 in 10 to 1 in 2. So whenever he's attacking at all, you get a big boy freeze, a 3-second freeze. I mean, how huge is that? And you're going to get it every other hit. If we will talk about base stats. Actually, no, we're all over the place. Let's talk about base stats right now. Pretty good interval for a mage. 2.6 seconds. It's exactly the same as Comet, another big, amazing esotericist mage. I'll tell you, comparable damage to Comet, which it sounds crazy, at least in the AoE department. Comet also kind of has that. His burst functions sometimes as a single target, which is great. So Boreas won't get that, but wow. I mean, that's really good stuff. 2.6 seconds. Get him going really fast if you get him A1. 3-second freezes are crazy. So much crowd control, and you see freezing synergizes amazingly to huge big boy damage in his kit. Let's actually finish the base stats. So if we bring him to max level here, 4,600 base attack, pretty good. For example, Virna's at about 43 or 4,400. We actually compare him to his other esotericist buddy, Comet. I guess while we're on the topic of esotericists and on the topic of Comet, if we go to max level, you can see Comet 4,633. So exactly the same, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty cool. If we go in here, was it exactly the same? No. So he's 17 base attack worse than Comet. It is what it is. Sorry to say, Boreas. If we go here to the basic attack, it's going to be single target damage. So basically you want him spamming this. You want a lot of attack speed because all those attacks are going to give opportunities to land those freezes. 10% is fine. If you get him a A1, and his A1's cracked. Think about that. I mean, he's 5 times more likely. He goes from 10% to 5%, 50%, 10 times more likely to land those freezes. Really important, I think, if you really want to invest heavily. He's still going to be super functional in terms of big boy damage, but he can kind of function by himself, because now you're going to see he needs freezes out there to do that big boy damage. So otherwise, you need to run him with like a Mari or a Maul, which isn't the end of the world. Those are great heroes, especially they work well in Gear Raid 1 as well. But yeah, he's kind of can do it all himself if you can get him awake in level 1. Let's go to the ultimate right now. You can see big big Esotericist energy, so expensive. All the Esotericist ults are so expensive, so you're probably going to want to run them with a Lord. If you can skill this out, it's 1200, which is, it's all right. Let's compare him to Comet again. I think that's a good comparison. I think Comet goes down to 1100, if I'm not mistaken. No, Comet only goes down to 1200. So it's doable. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't have a Lord with Comet, and I could make him work at 1200. But 1300, if you can't skill it down, that would be frustrating, and it's definitely way better if you have Raiden, so the ultimate cost will be minus 15%, and if you have Venoma, amazing, now it's minus 25%. But this is going to activate Eternal Ice Haven, a very unique thing to him, and it's going to increase damage by 225%. Each attack will reduce the trigger interval of Frozen Purification by 1 second. This effect lasts for 26 seconds. It can go up to 30 seconds, the damage increase can go up to 250%, and like I said, the cost can go down to 1200. If we go here, you'll see when allies inflict freeze on enemies, it deals massive additional damage, and this is AoE. The additional damage is affected by the duration of freeze inflicted and has a cooldown of 1.5 seconds. So that's why it's so good when he puts out his own freeze, because this freeze is so long, right? 3-second freeze. Let's look at someone like Mari, who I'm going to say at max potential, you would want her A5. I'll explain that in a second. If we go to Mari, so her freeze is going to last for 3 seconds, and the reason it's such a beautiful synergy with Mari, if you can get her A5, it's going to be 4 seconds, because the freeze and slows lasts another second. Now, if we look at another hero I really like while we're in the Northerners, let's look at Brokir, right? The freezes Brokir puts out, where does it tell me? This is going to last 10 seconds, right? So how freaking insane are Brokir's freezes? Think of the synergies because the damage is going to scale with that. So definitely worth checking out all those heroes. If we go down to Maul and we go to his A1, a lot of people get that. That's another 3-second freeze, right? So it's important to keep those things in mind. I'm trying to think. I always thought 3 seconds was a long freeze, but maybe it's not that long. Let's see what Gwendolyn's is at. I don't know if anyone else has freeze. No one's coming. Oh, we can check I. That's another good one on the topic of Esotericist. That'll be a great synergy. Where are you, I? There she is. So I's going to put out some crystal bombs with freezes. Where does it tell you? Here's the freeze. That's going to be 3 seconds. So it seems actually like 3 is the base rate. But if you can get Brokir when he's able, it's not as reliable. If you have A1 Brokir, it's easier. But you can get those big boy freezes. And then with Mari, if you had an A5 Mari, that will be 4-second freezes. Pretty cool stuff with that. And this massive damage is massive. People are already putting content out on it. I will put out content on Boreas, no question, showing you exactly how he works. But he's amazing in Gear Raid 1. Really, the damage is massive. Here is Chilling Blow. Here is Frozen Purification. I did want to start with this since it plays into his ultimate. When deployed, it deals 160% magic damage to 10 enemies in range and inflicts freeze upon them. And this is a 2-second freeze. So they all vary, right? As opposed to the normal from the basic, from any of his normal attacks, normal or ultimate, basic or no ultimate, that's going to have 3-second freeze. You can see here, this is a 2-second freeze and it's on deployment. This effect triggers 1 time every 20 seconds afterwards. So it's on a 20-second rotation. You can get down to 16 seconds with skill ups. During Eternal Ice Saving, the skill's trigger interval is reduced by an extra 10 seconds. So the base would go down to 20 seconds, and then if you have him skilled out, it would go down to 6 seconds. So that's a lot of nice freezes, big AoE freezes, kind of triggering. If you have him skilled out every 6 seconds, bang, bang, boom, that's some really good stuff. You got him A1 with a good attack speed, and you have got him throwing this thing out. If you got this skilled out, that's all. He's doing a lot of freeze all by himself. And as you can see here, it's going to reduce the trigger interval of Frozen Purification by 1 second during the ultimate. So as you can see, during the ultimate, it's actually not going to be 10 seconds or 6 seconds. It'll be 9 seconds or 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds, a big 2-second freeze hitting up to 10 enemies. You can see why people are so excited about this hero. Finally, he's got some anti-healing. It's really good, and it's just 100% anti-healing, just like our boy Lasir. So not the kind of hindered anti-healing that we see with Zealous. It's going to be really good anti-healing like with Lasir and Demi, right? When enemies are inflicted with freeze, they will also receive anti-healing. When attacking enemies inflicted with freeze, deals 35% extra damage. So a nice damage boost. This can go up to 55%. And at least from the wording, I have to test it myself, but it does seem not when he inflicts enemies with freeze, just when he's out there and an enemy is inflicted with freeze, they get anti-healing. So you can see anti-healing is huge, right, for Gear Raid 1. tremendous. So for me, I'm at 121. I don't really need him, but there obviously could be more content that would come. So I wouldn't mind getting him. Really cool stuff. And if you need to progress, I mean, think of all the things. He's giving you crowd control, he's giving you massive damage, and he's giving you anti-healing. This guy was made for gear grade 1. He's going to carry a lot of people from 19 to 21. There's no question about it. When attacking enemies inflicted with fleas, 35% extra damage. I mean, he's doing it all. Crowd control, damage, and anti-healing, right? Really cool stuff. What more is there to say, right? He's got a lot going on. Let's get into the awakenings now. So I touched on his A1, but there's an important thing I need to explain right now. So during the ultimate, the trigger chance of the hero's talent increases by 40%. What's really important to see, guys, is his basic attack is not during the ultimate. However, with some heroes, their ultimate basically is like a buff to themselves, a damage increase, something like that, some extra effect, but they still keep doing their attacks as basic attacks, so not as a different attack. So he would benefit from Infernal Roar because of that, because his attacks will still count as basic attacks, and thus attack speed will still help him and still help this, because you see the ultimate, it's going to activate that thing and then just increase his damage. So it's still going to have that kind of scaling where because attack speed only helps basic attack, you're still going to get that benefit by making him go fast, and then you're going to get the increased chance on the basic attacks as long as the ultimate is active. So really cool stuff. 50%, like I said, is really good. If we go to the A2, plus 5% attack, not bad. He's got pretty good base attack. If we go here, Frozen Purification's damage, plus 50%. So important to note, it is plus 50%. It doesn't say increases by 50%. That is important in this game. This means it's additive, not multiplicative. However, what you can see when it's maxed out, it's 200% damage. Now it's 250% damage. So not too bad. That's going to be this auto passive right here. So once you get that skilled out too, we're going to be really good. If you have A3 Boreas, then he's the kind of person you really want to invest in. Now you got Rage Regen Auto. So every second he just gets one more tick of rage cost. Why not? And then his A5, his ultimate's now going to last an extra 10 seconds. So to be clear, his ultimate before, let me get the duration on that, was lasting for 26 seconds all the way up to 30 seconds. Now it's going to be lasting 36 seconds all the way up to 40 seconds. So A5, he's pretty cracked out. All in all, he's a very, very good hero. Specifically for people in the mid and late game in general, but if you're trying to make that push deeper into gear grade 1, it's been pretty hard to do it so far. You're kind of be of course there are alternatives, but basically it's, do you have Virna and Comet? Do you maybe have Lasir? Do you have Zealous' Artifact? And do you also have great gear? He's going to lower those requirements tremendously. You won't need all those perfectly meta heroes, and you won't need incredible gear. You'll see some testing that I'm going to do with him. He's crazy. He's really good. He has a niche right now for Gear Grade 1, but hopefully more content is going to come. You would think more big AoE mage content is coming, so he's going to shine. He's a very, very cool hero. Finally, our second guy, Orim. So you can see Orim here. We have got the big tanky boy. Orim, he's a defender. He is from the Infernal faction. He does normal damage. Orim's pretty cool. A lot of people I heard saying he was hot garbage. Someone said that in my stream. Nothing about this guy is hot garbage. Is he as exciting as Boreas? No. Is he even more exciting than Boreas? Is he some triple S tier hero like Hotsit? Absolutely not. But is he Cratch? No, he's solid. He's just a solid tank. He's got a touch of buffing, so some utility through that. He's got some burns, and he has some nice damage. All in all, he's very solid. So let's break the kit down. Let's start with the talent. I also got to say, design. I'm loving it, right? Very, very cool. I love my dwarfs. Someone in my chat said the hat is so stupid that they like it. I feel exactly the same way. This hat is so silly that I love it. Maybe I should cosplay as Orim. What do you guys think? All right, let's go to the talent. Increases his crit rate by 15%, so just in general. So you can build him with 15% less crit and still crit cap him. For every 5 crit hits landed with basic attack, triggers Hammer Smash that deals 160% damage to one target. If the smash hits only one target, the damage will be increased, right? So instead of 160% AoE, it's 200% single target. So ideally you want the AoE, but this way at least there's a slight boost if he's only dealing with one enemy at a time. Let's go to the basic attack. 100% damage to one enemy with a 40% chance to trigger a shield attack. So he's going to attack with his shield, and that is going to inflict burning. So he's got his normal attack, and then he'll do an attack with his shield that will trigger burning. This is going to be a standard burning, a 5-second burning, not to be confused with Arrogance, who does the souped up 7-second burning. So this will be the same burning that Zealot does. So it's going to do 20% magic damage per second, and you can see you can increase the base damage on the normal attack all the way up to 120%. Let's go now to the ultimate. We've got Fireball Defense. They spelled defense in an interesting way. If we go here, increases attack range and reduces physical damage taken by 20% and lasts for 26 seconds. You can get this up. No, you can't increase the duration. All right. During the skill effect, the hero deals 60% damage. This can go up to 80% damage. That's going to be AoE to all targets in range, up to 10 targets, and it's also going to inflict burning. So a nice AoE burning, right? So you can get some really nice burning, which is good magic damage out of him. He can shine in some content. He really can. Additionally, each triggered hammer smash will deal AoE damage up to 10 targets within a larger range. So when he does trigger that hammer smash over here, you're going to see, so every 3 hits or whatever, the same kind of thing. So this is going to be like, again, similar to like what we were talking about with Boreas. He's not doing like a new skill. He's just boosting himself up. So it's still going to be basic attacks. So he can still benefit from attack speed increases and lower his interval. And you'll see, so every 5 attacks, so you want that popping off a lot. If you're going to build him for like a damage burning build, so he can be doing AoE as much as possible, hitting 10 targets and getting AoE burning. That reduction in physical damage taken can go up to 30%. Like I said, his damage increases, and this is 1100. Pretty expensive, and I will say he's a 25 cost hero. We'll break down all his stats in a second. Now, if we go here, Master's Ire, this is his passive. If the hero receives damage from an attacker with burning, there's a 50% chance to retaliate and deal 100% damage. So this can be a ton of counterattacks triggering, right? It can go up to 70% chance, and it can go up to 140% damage. He can be counterattacking all the time if he's got a high attack speed, a low attack interval. He's getting those AoE smashes a lot and placing those AoE burnings. He also is going to be placing burnings here with the shield smash single target. So he gets burns on a lot of people he's blocking. All of a sudden, he can be putting out some legit damage. Totally. Finally, this is the most disappointing part of his kit because it sounds really exciting, but it's actually not. I was really excited when I first saw it. When deployed, he gains crit rate increase. This starts at 20%. If you skill it up, it goes to 30. And then he's got this crit damage increase. It starts at 20% and it goes up to 30. Did I read that right? Yes. Okay, so they both go up to 30, and the duration can increase. So duration, well, this is only on deployment, and it only lasts for 15 seconds, which is such a bummer. It's like basically nothing. So you could time out your deployment on him to buff the allies. The crit rate boost is only for him. The crit damage is for all allies, not just faction allies, just everyone on your team that's deployed. It'd be really nice if these were permanent, or at least they would go for 20 seconds and trigger every 40 seconds or something like that. But basically, it's like a very niche thing that it's an insta deployment effect, and then it's just this passive kaput, until you deploy him again. I guess you could pick him up, put him down, something like that. But like I said, he's 25 cost. I don't know about all that. That sounds like a very weird strategy. All in all, I think he's a cool hero. Let's talk base stats, and then we'll talk awakenings. He's got good base stats, so over 26,000 HP. Pretty solid and standard for a legendary tank. Good stats, a lot better than what you'd see on an epic tank. Defense is good. It's not crazy. The crazy people like Gone has like 4K defense, but this is still solid. 3,400, you can build. It scales. You could easily get him over 6K defense without too much work hunting for substats. Your HP, you can push over 100K with that, no question. Cost is heavy, like I said. It's 25. He's got the standard 3 block for a tank. If we go here, attack interval slightly high, but not crazy at 3 seconds. If you went for an attack speed build, which I think is what you would want to do if you're choosing to use him, because you have lots of options, but the reason you choose him over other good tanks is because he's going to have damage utility. So if that's the case, you're going to want to also have some attack speed on him. So maybe you're keeping your eye out for different kinds of gears. So maybe your HP bonus main stats, but then also some kind of DPS and attack speed stats. It could help. His crit rate is pretty cool because you only need to crit cap him at 85% since he has the talent that gives him 15% extra. Like I said, with him, there are kind of 2 talents. As I will show you with his awakenings, this can be even easier on building his crit build. And then you can see, standard rage regen auto. All in all, I think he's a pretty cool hero. He's going to be disappointing to a lot of people because Boreas is better and Cetrum's better, or at least for many, many people, that's how they'll feel, right? But don't get it twisted and think he's like some F-tier hero. He's like a solid B-tier hero, no question. He's a very serviceable legendary tank. If we go to his awakening, so I was saying his awakenings could help with that crit. When he does get that hammer smash, which is kind of when you're getting that big AoE, his basic attack is going to guarantee a crit. So you could totally just not ignore crit, right? He's got his base chance, then he's got the extra 15%, right? So already, if we look at that here, right? He has his base chance of 15% crit. Then he's got the extra 15% crit from his talent. Or are they actually already including that? Let me check that very quickly. Okay, they already include it there. But even still, 15% of the time he's going to crit anyway. And then if you get him Awaken 1, every 5 hits, you're going to get a big AoE guaranteed crit. So you could kind of go all in on crit damage, attack, and tanky stats. and get some damage that way. That's probably what I would do if I got him A1. At A2, you're going to get additional attack. That's going to help with the damage. It's going to help with the burning. Then at A3, required cost for first deployment. This is important because you're probably, unless you're going to do some kind of cheesy thing where you pick him up, put him down, are you really going to do that just for a crit damage buff for your allies? I don't think so. So you're going to get them down to 20 costs, which is kind of huge because 25 is too much. So that's really good. If we go to A4, I really wish he was just 20 cost base, if I'm being honest. An extra 8% crit rate, meh. I mean, it is what it is. And then finally, when not in fireball defense stance, so that's on his ultimate, attacking with targets inflicted with burning will restore 50% rage. So it's going to help him get his ultimate up all the time. Another reason to build him with a lot of attack speed. Really good there. You could have just his ult up all the time. All in all, I think Orim's really cool. I think Boreas is really cool. If I had to rank them, I haven't tested them at all yet, so this is just like not my first impressions. Let's call it my second or third impressions. I've had some time to think about them. I would say Boreas is niche. He's S+ for Gear Raid 1. Probably in general, he'd be like a solid A in terms of just general capabilities. And then I would say for Orim, he's just like a solid B. He's just going to be, he could work as an infernal DPS, not the best, but he could totally work as your third DPS and help you with some tanking, get some burning out. Maybe you have Zealatu's exclusive artifact. He could help in Guild Boss. He could help definitely in Void Rift. If you have good gear, he could tank for you while also helping do some of the damage that you need to do. I mean, burning is a really nice way to trigger damage. And you know, he's applicable opposite. He'd be good in Gear Raid 2. He could even help in Gear Raid 1, burning his magic damage. There's a lot of ways you could make him work. I think people are really underrating him. He's super solid B, with potentially more potential. I could see myself even grading him higher in some pieces of content once I have tested him a little bit. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Fastidious. I have kind of manic energy. It's because I've had kind of a manic day, but I promised this video, so I wanted to make sure that I got it done. All right, I've been Fastidious. If you like my stuff, like it, comment, subscribe, share it with your grandmother, and I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.